of course, is a discussion that we were supposed to also look at. They make or shape or break political alignment, and especially now that the political alignment have not quite, the cement has not quite dried yet, because we are hearing about OKA or OKA in talks with Azimio. Jubilee is also in talks with ODM. How are they likely to shape up the politics of the day? Eshiwani?
Actually, there's one narrative that I would like to make it clear, and especially this narrative of particular party teaming up with another party so that they can have numbers to form a government. That one comes out actually very well that these political parties are not, most of them are not actually pro-public in terms of their formations, which means it is the political parties, the owners of the political parties and the owners within those classes that will want to have power to control the parliament and maybe the county assemblies. So the impact is they will do nominations, and because they have made nominations be a matter of do or die, there'll be a fallout. And this fallout means that the people who had ascribed in terms of formations were not actually there based on ideologies. They were based on interests. So the formations should actually be Mwananchi-centric. If there is a party that is going to form a Mwananchi-centric kind of association, let it have a relationship with the Wananchi. What do the Wananchi want? Come sell your manifesto to us. Tell us what you can do for us. Then we'll follow you. But if it is about numbers in parliament, that we have to win numbers based on political parties, then we've lost it. That is why when these formations are formed, these people get out of the public and go back into their own cocoon to serve their own interests. We'll see them after 5 years. But if this guy or the political party is associated to the Wananchi, they'll keep in touch with the Wananchi until after the 5 years, we still feel them. Very few people in the current parliament will find associated with the Wananchi. Most of them, especially those who are elected in the villages, after the election, after they get the certificate and they've been brought into parliament, they move out of the villages, come and reside in Nairobi. So there's no touch with the villagers. Until after 4 or 5 years is when now we'll come back and start giving you car washing machines. We want to give you, we want to attend every funeral, so that you can see us. So now we are relating to the Mwananchi of what, this is the problem of Mwananchi. They need money. So after 4.5 years is when I come to meet the Mwananchi. You need a car wash machine. You need to have a kibanda. But where have you been for the 4.5 years? So let's make a situation whereby, especially the youth, let the youth understand we should not clap, especially when our future is being stolen. No. Let's open our eyes. Let's stay vigilant. If somebody comes back after 4 years, even if it's a burial, there is another day somebody was being blamed that he had sponsored the burial of one of the leading politicians' mother, and at the end of the day, they ran out of that politician. Is the relationship the burial or the development? No. Why would I contribute so much money
in the election year
to have you buried on your burial, to have you buried, than contribute money to empower you, to take you to hospital for good treatment? Why? Youth, I'm speaking to you. Let's wake up. Let's stop this attitude of waiting for somebody in 4 years, then we come up and say, asante umekuja kutuona. Okay. The conversation from today, especially youth, these things are our right. Nasio tafadhali. Demand your space now.
All right. What options are there after the nominations? Because after the NDCs, we have the ODM, we have the Jubilee, the ODM, the UDA will be having theirs, I believe, sometimes next month. And what options does Oka have? We have seen a lukewarmish Kalonzo Musyoka. Some of his lieutenants are talking about why doesn't Raila join us? Just like the Wycliffe has asked that. Why don't Oka now Azimio join Oka? What options does he have?
You know, one of the things that we must understand about Kalonzo Musyoka, the person, the individual person, that has also been informed by his career, is that he's a diplomat. And diplomats are people who are very strategic in terms of how they negotiate. They are good in negotiation. So I'm sure one of the things that Kalonzo Musyoka is doing now is to raise the stakes for the purposes of negotiating better. So in the ultimate end, he will end up in Azimio. But he needs to find his space so that he will get at that point where, you know, he has gotten there not because he has been pushed, but sort of because he has gotten his space within there and he has safeguarded his space within the coalition. And that is very significant. Because you see, if you just go that you have been pushed, you know, your governors and, you know, the people in your region are pushing you, then once you get there, who are you there? So you must go there when you have already safeguarded your space. And that is what maybe he's doing now. But I think the nominations are going to be complex for all the coalitions, all the formations. Because you see, when you look at the political parties within Azimio, the political parties within Kenya Kwanza Alliance, and the political parties within, well, if they are only the two formations, or even also okay, if they also decide to go alone, which is unlikely, then the balance of who is going to go for what position in which region is going to be a very tricky balance. And you know, right now, you have to find how to balance it up to the extent that there will not be fallouts. Now, that is at the coalition level. At the individual politician level, you also must be very strategic, because there are political parties that have decided that we are not going to do primaries through elections. We are going to determine who goes for what position. So that will be determined by how good you are with the political party headquarters, and not necessarily the kind of social contract that you have with the people.
Exactly.
Now, that then brings to the point that you then, as an individual candidate, must make a decision right from the beginning. Because the office of the political parties also says that you cannot, if you decide to go as an independent, you must decide right from the onset. You will not lose a primaries and then change. So then it puts you to a position that you must be very strategic. You know, if you know you are not going to win it in this formation, just go independent and nothing else. So that is now at the individual candidate level. But even the last one is now the people. Where are the people here? And there is something that Eshiwani has said which has always been ignored. You know, there is something that the French used to say about called the social contract, which will always inform the contract between the people and its leaders. And sometimes during electioneering period like this, the social contract is something that has been thrown out of the box. And we end up realizing that the leaders that are selected are not necessarily leaders that have got social contract with the people, but have got social contract with specific segments within the structures of the political party or the political formations. So you then realize that the people are left to make a decision that have been coerced onto them. And this is across the political, across all the political formations.
And perhaps you can touch on that, because UDA is will be holding its own party primaries, and a lot will be starred when it comes to political formations after the nomination. How do you think that the political formations are going to be, and especially your political formation, Kenya Kwanza, after the nomination?
That is a very important question at this moment. And I can say, just as we have said, political parties nominations, that is where we get the litmus test for these political parties. We have been having a situation whereby we have shambolic nominations. And to some extent, even when you win, you are not given that certificate. So that is really a test for the Kenyan democracy. And I would urge that any party that is going to conduct nominations, they should adhere to the standards, be free, fair, and give those that who have won those tickets. And again, you see, we have a law that is really is causing a lot of agony in every party, that only party members should vote during nomination. That is a serious challenge. As we speak today, most of the Kenyans don't know which party they belong in. You say you are in ODM, you are in UDA, but when you go to check with the register of political parties, you find you are in Agano party. So that is also another challenge. How are we going to harmonize this register within the shortest period that we have been given, because nominations will be in April, starting from 9th.
Just only 1 month.
How are we going to harmonize this register such that we have the party registered members, the genuine ones? Because what we are going to have is, I have hundreds of party members who are not going to vote for me during nomination. So to me, I'll say that the parties that are going to go for nomination, including my party, we really have to fight, because if we don't do that, then there will be a breakup after nomination. We are going to see some people shifting goalposts. Some going to Azimio, some coming to UDA, some going to... but I don't know whether OCA will be there, because you remember when I said here, OCA is an extension of Azimio. And they are there to entertain us. They are entertaining us until... I said during... when we were given that deadline of 9th February, it was shifted, okay? So still they have time to entertain us. Okay. Until that time, when it's going to be locked, you will see them running to Azimio.
Will you be saying that they're there to entertain if they decide to join Kenya Kwanza? Because it's also, we have witnessed a lot of...
I'm saying they have either option, either to join Kenya Kwanza or join Azimio. But as OCA, I can tell you it is a lot of entertainment, and we are happy with it. Because
all right, at least those are your views. Let's first of all cross over to the western region of Kenya. And looking at the last couple of months, the DAP has really caused some noise and a lot of shaking up when it comes to the political sphere there. The good thing is that Zia said that the party primaries will be quite a litmus test. But thank God, you will not be going through that. But you are also not affiliated to any political affiliation. DAP has shown quite some strength in Nzoia. The Azimio also claim that we are the bona fide and we are going to get a lot of votes here, same as Kenya Kwanza. What do you intend to do? Or how different are you?
First of all, I want to echo my brother here. He has said it very well. In Western, if you look at the entertainment that is happening from DAP, they already have preferred candidates.
No, it was okay. Now DAP is also deciding.
DAP has already decided their candidates. If you look at, when you see a party leader receiving everyone, they are saying, so-and-so is coming to join us, he's vying for seat A, seat B. So generally, DAP don't expect nominations on DAP tickets. To me, DAP has decided, so whatever nominations will happen will just be a formality. But they have their candidates. To me, I'd say no. The reason why I've decided to do independent is that I'm selling my agenda to the Mwananchi of Nzoia. It is the Mwananchi I want to serve. And what I want to tell you is, most of these politicians you're seeing jumping, especially to DAP that are in Western Kenya, is because they are actually people, most of them people who cannot defend their seats, even today. That's why most of them are shifting goalposts, because voters are excited with new formations. If you buy a new dress today and you take it to your daughter, she will not remember the one she had last Sunday. She'll want to wear the new one even for dinner. So this one is a late entrant into the political space. I've not been able to interact with their manifesto as such, but when I look at the one they are born and they are saying, we are married to this political formation, it means there's nothing new we expect from them. So I'm saying this because if there was democracy in these political parties, especially in Western Kenya, you would expect to see new players running against the incumbents. But when you see the incumbents joining the wave. It means they are running to get nominated or elected based on the wave. And that's what we are saying. Western.
And also, Eshiwani, just in the same light, I've seen what you say that, or your manifesto on what you intend to do for the people in Nzoia. I've also seen some from Azimio, and also, of course, the former RC, Natembea, also issued some of the, mention some of the things he was going to be doing. It's quite a crowded field, if you ask me. That is why I'm asking, what difference will you make or intend to do? Because you're vying as an independent. The others are in political formations.
The difference that I'm going to do that is majorly, and that is me. I'm actually running as a champion of the youth. What has happened is that most people, especially in the youth countrywide, and even Nzoia, they've been segmented from even supplies and servicing tenders of any value, based on issues that they are financially incapacitated. So what we are doing, myself, one is that I'm going to develop a county youth fund that is going to ensure every youth from Nzoia, as long as you have a company that meets the threshold of being registered and affiliated to supplies, will give you loans from the county fund to supply that tender at no security, such that it will be run by a reputable bank. It is the bank to put up the laws and regulations to run the money, but at a very low interest rate. And number two, I'm going to spend my time, which I've been doing, with village mates, mama mbogas, boda riders, because I'm already developing a SACCO for them. I've registered a SACCO with a few boda riders. That SACCO is going to be actualized when I become the governor. We are going to put money there for bodas in Nzoia. Come pick money. We don't want even bodas to remain bodas. We want them to upscale. So if you have a boda today, how many years are you giving yourself to become an employer? You want to buy extra boda, maybe you want to buy another car, you become an Uber driver, maybe you want to own some fleets of vehicles. So we'll also do that fund, and that's the program I have. And I was telling my people, because I already spoke to a lot of them, I have 2 factories for them. And those 2 factories will be actualized once I get into office. As we speak, Nzoia has no functional office that is employing people.
Okay. But the essence of that question was because, Doc, a lot of formations, they talk about the manifesto, and we've seen governors, even president, who have never touched even 60% of their manifesto, and they talk about, you give me 5 years, I'm going to do A, B, C, D. We give them 5 years, we give them 10 years. Should there be a way to actually follow you up with your manifesto? And if you don't actualize what you've promised people, then people can petition for your removal.
Yes, you know, in other democracies, you will find there is something that they call the community scorecards. So the community scorecards are responsibility mechanisms that they use to ensure that, whatever they sort of are able to track the social contract that has been made between the people and the leaders. And in fact, they're in some countries where they have got extremely data-driven, and they're able to track every word that you say and use that word, and then later on use that as a benchmark to show your scorecard. That does not exist in our current setup, and it is possible to say something and run away with it. And sometimes it also depends on the strength of engagement you have with the community. There are leaders even in this country who genuinely have got very strong relationship with their electorates, to the extent that they don't run away with the big cars when the people wants to see them, and so because of that strong relationship, they end up being obliged to ensure that they try to achieve some of the things that they have mentioned. But now the trickiest bit is this. The trickiest bit is the fact that, in the art of seduction, if you don't speak a lie, You don't.
but looking at all the politicians, then we will say then a lot of them lie, because everyone has his own manifesto. I'm quite sure even Nyangwasa here has his manifesto.
It's because the environment necessitates that. That, you know, in as much as you have this whole complex, you know, this whole complex matrix of, you know, what Eshiwani wants to do for Nzoia County, well documented. You know, not everybody in Nzoia County will understand that. You sometimes have to, in disseminating this information, you make that information palatable to the people. In making this information palatable to the people, you may end up speaking something that will appeal to his or her ears, but in real sense, it's not practical. Are you getting? Like, you know, for example, when you try to cascade some of the manifestos we talk about, at the elitist level, they are practical. But when you are speaking them down there, you will not go and speak the elitist manifesto. You'll go and tell people that, you know what, we will give you 20,000 dams. I mean, they will understand that. But tell them that we are going to ensure we put into place, you know, the structural thinking does not resonate with the electorate. And that is the trickiest bit. And that's why you find many of the people who are structured in mind, who have very, very visionary and are well exposed, do not make it through in some of the political circles because they cannot speak the language of the electorate.
Nyangwasa, I'm quite sure you will be having your own manifesto, and do you support what Doc is talking about? We should be a mechanism that you followed with your manifesto, each and every word that you said through your manifesto or through your coalition as Kenya Kwanza. And if you lose at the party primaries, the UDA, UDA, right?
Yes, yes.
If you lose on a UDA ticket, the primaries, will you support?
Okay, that's a very good question. And in the Kenyan political formation, and the way the Kenyans really buy your ideas is what you tell them. And it happens that most of the politicians who give pledges to their people, at the end of the day, they end up doing nothing. Quite very few who try to promise and they deliver what they had actually promised. So that is an unfortunate part of it. You remember we have a recall clause in the Constitution, but it has never worked and it will never work because it is being guarded by the politicians. Of course, they will not allow to be recalled from Parliament or whatever position they have been elected to. So that one is still a green area. So what I'll do as an individual, I have already promised what I'm going to do. I've promised the youths, I've promised the women, people with a disability, and definitely to come up with good policies, good laws that will help everybody within the country to get at least where we want to go. The kind of politics we play as Kenyans is a bit politics of serve me right now and we are done. So why do I say that? That's where you will get now the extension of corruption, extension of whatever.
Okay. Will you support, if all, if Churchill will be vying for that seat? I'm quite sure he won't, but will you support Churchill if you lose the party primaries?
Okay,
or will you decamp to another party or even decide?
As we speak right now, I really work in line with the UDA manifesto. Okay. I've joined the UDA with a purpose. It is talking the language that I want us to talk about. How do we help these people who are down here at least come somewhere? So if we go to nomination and genuinely he wins, because, you know, the way we have said, we may go for nomination just for a show. Okay. But at the end of the day, there's a preferred candidate for the party. That is the problem we have. But I believe our party leader has always expressed that whoever wins from the ground, even if you don't know me, even if you are not known by anybody in the party, but as long as the Mwananchi has said that you are the one who is going to lead them, and they have voted for you in nomination and you have won, you will get that ticket. I believe if the party sticks to that, I am the ready person who is going to support whoever wins, if it is not me.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Andrew. And as we wrap it up, the final words on the crop of leadership that we have as we head to the party primaries, that is quite a big test for candidates. Eshiwani.
Yes, it's a big test for the candidates because of what we call status quo. And also, I would wish to talk to political parties, whatever formation they are, kindly consider bringing in new players, especially the youth. These fees that you're putting as nomination fees are not fees that can be afforded by most people who have just come out of college. Most people have come out of school and have not worked anywhere, but they have ideas on the ground. I would propose that these nomination fees of 500,000, 300,000 be actually waived for new entrants, especially within the youth bracket. That will give a leeway to introduce new players within your area, because all these formations are being supported by hundreds and millions of youths who have no income. That is why every morning, every evening, you call a political party anywhere, be it on a Monday, on a Saturday, on a Sunday. The grounds are always full. It means these people need a source of income. They are not working. And the language being spoken by even Kenya Kwanza is very good. The DP speaks the best words that are actually encouraging. But I want to challenge the DP, especially since he's speaking the word of the Mwananchi. Please, Mr. DP, waive the nomination fee for the youth. Let them contest based on manifesto and policies. Let them win or lose, and they'll stick by you. The other formations are, if the youth want to be on the table and their issues addressed, let's not cry after August 9th, 2022. Please come to the forefront, compete with the people who are there, run even if it's as independent. I'm lucky currently, I'm operating as the convener of independent candidates, and I will soon be calling for another meeting separately where we'll invite all independent candidates for a discussion.
All right.
But we want as many youths to come and register with us so that we support the youth to go and vie in all the seats. Apart from presidency, where we'll say maybe you are being asked for 5 million. No, we'll support you in every seat you want.
All right.
We want youth to make the decisions of this country going forward.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Churchill, wrap it up in 30 minutes, in 30 seconds.
I think mine is just to implore on the political formations. You know, elections are a very important thing for the country. And politics is extremely important for giving direction to a nation. And it is important that they become tolerant to divergent political opinions and also embrace new ideas and newer people within political formations. I think one of the greatest challenges that I find today is that many of the political formations are stuck in the past, and they are stuck with people who are still thinking the past. And they do not want to embrace progressiveness and progressive thinking. And most of the political leaders and the political kingpins are still surrounded by these people. And they do not want to embrace newer ideas and newer thinking, even if there are people who are interested in working with them. So for the best interest of this country, and also even moving forward, there is a need for political tolerance as we get into the discourse of the election hearing.
Okay, gentlemen, unfortunately we've run out of time. Thank you so much, Andrew Nyangwasa, who is a politician, and you also be vying for the Kajiado North parliamentary seat. We have Dr. Churchill Saboke, who is a governance expert and also a lecturer at the Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, and Wycliffe Eshiwani, who is also a politician here, and you will be seeking the top seat when it comes to Nzoia County. Thank you, gentlemen, so much. But before we wrap it up, Ayub Mugo, thank you. Say Mombasa is well represented. Robert Koech is saying, for sure, I'm not seeing openness in the party's nominations. Somebody has been supporting the party from scratch, and another one is new in the same. Actually, even the latter commands a majority vote on the ground. He may not see the light of day because he is new to the party officials, following from Bomet County. Thank you so much, Odunga. Peter, King Africa from Kitale, Philip, the list goes on. and on. Thank you so much. We have come to the end of the first hour. We are discussing matters, political matters in the country and political alignments. When we come back, we look at value addition, and when we talk about value addition, talk about in agriculture, mostly in potatoes and also in mangoes. I can tell you, for mango farmers, at the moment, they are not quite smiling despite the abundance of mangoes, and also the potato, or potato, if you like, also in a quagmire, which we will be looking at. I'll be joined by a panel of experts in the next couple of minutes. Keep it KBC.
Thank you.